We're closing in. We're closing in on 2025 in about a few hours here. Something I've been reflecting on a lot, especially today. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine about this last week, is faith and trust, and more than faith, like knowing and connection and oneness with spirit, your higher self, God, the God power within you, the universe, the creator. And I think when you're operating from a place of faith, think about it this way. If you have, first of all, whatever goals, dreams, aspirations, desires of your heart are there in your heart, they weren't placed there on accident. They were placed there for a reason. Your dreams are God's dreams for you. Okay, if you don't, whatever you believe in, they're there for a purpose. They're not there by some stroke of randomness. They're there for a purpose. So that's first and foremost. They're meant to be fulfilled. You have everything, you have the capacity, you have everything within your being right now in this very moment to fulfill those goals, dreams, and desires. Okay, that's off the rip. First off. Second is, so knowing that, the second thing is, when you're acting from a place of faith, trust, knowing, belief, when your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are in alignment with whatever that dream is you're after. Because if you're acting from a place of faith in pursuit of that dream, you are in alignment with you are in alignment. Your thoughts, dreams, God bless me. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are automatically in alignment with that higher vibrational version of you. When you're not acting from a place of faith, you're off track and you're doubting, and it's causing misalignment in your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Misalignment between your thoughts, feelings, and actions and your goals, dreams, and aspirations. And really, this is the biggest way as I've been reflecting. This is the biggest indicator, I think, when you're not operating from a place of faith, belief, and knowing. Is when you're too wrapped up in the mechanics and the how it's going to come about. Well, how? What transaction? What people? Where's it going to come from? When's it going to come? In what quantities? Is it going to be, if we're talking money, is it going to be a lump sum? Is it going to be in increments? How's this all going to shake out? When you're involved with that kind of thinking and trying to figure out how, you're not in alignment. You're not in alignment, and you're coming from a place of ego, edging God out. You're trying to do God's job. There's no, and there was actually this quote, I think it's an old quote, Bob Proctor would reference it quite a bit. God will feed all the birds, but he will not put food in the nest. Okay? There's a few interpretations of that, but I think it applies to what I'm saying right now, in that all you have to do is step forward towards your goals and operate from the consciousness of already having those things. Not from a lack consciousness, but from a consciousness, as Neville says, operate from the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? That's all you have to do. So the he will feed all the birds part is he will figure out the how. He's not just going to dump it in your lap. You've got to act in faith. The Bible references it many times. You have to step out in faith. That's the test of faith. That's the challenge, is belief in the unseen and stepping into the unknown and trusting that you do have the capacity and you have all of the tools already within you to fulfill the desires that are in your heart. So I just think that's something to keep in mind and to carry forward as a mental construct into 2026. I know I'm going to pay a lot of attention to that because it's crucial. And to be honest with you, I was just laughing out loud about this, literally. We make this so much more difficult than it needs to be. Okay? God's vantage point, his perspective is a bird's eye. We are so myopic and so we're peons. We can't we can't even conceptualize how these pieces are gonna fall into place. And guess what? Quit trying. This is the funny thing about it. Is we get in our ego, we're like, oh, well, I'm gonna figure it out. It's kind of like, I heard this the other day. This is a hell of a lot easier to do though. I heard someone try to figure out what their significant other got them for Christmas. It's like, it's kind of the same thing. So you have these aspirations, these dreams in your heart that God places there intentionally for you to fulfill them. But that's not enough for you. You can't for us. We're all guilty of this. That's not enough. So we have to ego edging God out. We fabricate this false identity, ego, that's what it is, that, we can figure it all out. We're going to, and we're gonna, you're not. We're never going to, ever. So quit trying. It's like, I struggle with this. I've been struggling with this. And I oscillate back and forth because I'm subject to the human condition. I know I'm a spiritual being, but I'm in this human 3D realm in a physical body. So I struggle. But I have to remind myself, which is why I'm putting this out there, like, this is something I'm going to be incredibly mindful of in the coming year because it's stupid. Why do we think we can do God's job better than he can? Why? The creator, he's omnipresent, he's all knowing, he's omniscient, he's all powerful. How on earth could we possibly, in our little peon brains, think that we're going to outwit infinite intelligence? I mean, it's just, the idea of it is just preposterous. It's so ridiculous. So I just think it's a good reminder. And look, that's what I was getting at. Ironically enough, when you surrender to his way, it's way easier. And guess what? You know what's funny too? He usually ends up surprising you in some way and better than you could have even thought of. So quit trying. Act in faith. Align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the desired outcome, with the desires of your heart. Think not of the end, but from the end, as Neville Goddard always says. And don't give up. But that's it. Quit trying to be God. Quit trying to figure it out. That's all. I mean, holy cow. All right. That's all I really got. I'm just extra passionate about it because it's something I have totally been struggling with. But again, I'm not beating myself up. I'm aware that, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and that's just the struggle of the human condition. We're gonna kind of have to catch ourselves and check ourselves. But anyway, I hope everybody has a phenomenal 2026. I'm stepping into it. I'm incredibly hopeful, and much love always. Just keep doing your best. That's all you got to do. Leave the rest up to the Creator.